Hi students, today we are going to study the chapter number 8, metallurgy. In this chapter we will study about the metals and non-metals and their physical and chemical properties, as well as we will study about the occurrence of metal, in which we study about the terms like ores, mineral and gangue. In this chapter we will also going to study the interesting topics like extraction of metal. In this topic we will study about the highly reactive metals, then moderately reactive metals and least reactive metal. How that all metals are which are extracted by different methods, particularly for the highly reactive metals like bauxite or alumina. How the alumina which is extracted by different techniques like a concentration of ore by Baer process and electrolytic reduction. Then another topic like reactivity series of metal. How the all metals which are arranged in the reactivity series by decreasing order of their reactivity. And also the topics like corrosion and prevention of corrosion of metals. How the prevention of corrosion of metal is carried out by different methods like anodizing technique, electroplating, tining. All that techniques or all that different methods of prevention of corrosion we will study in details in this chapter. So listen it carefully. Science and Technology Part 1, Chapter number 8, Metallurgy. Metals and non-metals. Metal is electropositive element, while non-metal is electronegative element. They differ in both physical and chemical properties. For example, iron and sulfur. Metals. Metals are solid at ordinary temperature and vapor only at high temperature. Exception: mercury and gallium are liquid at room temperature. Non-metals are generally gases, liquid or solid, which volatile at low temperature. Exception: carbon, boron and sulfur, volatile at high temperature. They are generally hard. Exception: sodium and potassium are soft. Non-metals. They are generally soft. Exception: diamond is the hardest substance known. Metals. Metals usually have bright metallic luster and are silvery white in appearance. Exception: gold is yellow while copper is pinkish red. Non-metals. Non-metals lack luster. Exception: iodine and graphite are lustrous. Metals. Metals generally have high density. Exception: sodium, potassium, calcium, etc. have low densities. Non-metals. Non-metals generally have low density. Exception: diamond has a high density. Metals. Metals usually have high melting point and boiling point. Exception: sodium and potassium have low melting points. Mercury has low boiling point. Non-metals. Non-metals usually have low melting point and boiling points. Exception: carbon, silicon and boron have high melting point and boiling points. Metals. They are usually malleable, ductile and possess tensile strength. Exception: sodium, potassium and mercury are non-malleable and non-ductile and do not possess tensility. Non-metals. Non-metals are non-malleable and non-ductile. They are lack tensility. Metals are not brittle. Exception: zinc is brittle at ordinary temperature. Non-metals are generally brittle. Metals, they are generally good conductor of heat and electricity. Exception, bismuth is a poor conductor of heat and electricity. Non-metals, they are usually non-conductor of heat and electricity. Exception, graphite and gas carbon are good conductor of electricity. Metals, metals do not generally dissolve in liquids except by chemical reaction. Non-metals dissolve in liquid solvents without any chemical action. Example, sulfur dissolve in carbon disulfide. Metals form alloys and amalgams. Example, bronze is an alloy of copper and tin. Sodium amalgam is an alloy of mercury and sodium. Non-metals do not form alloys. Exception, carbon is alloyed with iron to form steel. Metals, atoms of metals have 1, 2 and 3 valence electrons. In case of non-metals, usually have 4, 5, 6, 7 or 8 valence electron. Exception, hydrogen and helium. Metals, metals are electropositive in nature. Non-metals are electronegative in nature. Metals, since metals lose electron during chemical reaction, they are good reducing agent. Non-metals, since metals gain electrons, they are generally oxidizing agent. Oxides of metals are basic or amphoteric in nature. Exception, tin oxide and chromium oxide are acidic. Non-metals generally form acidic and neutral oxides. Metals, metals usually do not form hydrides. Exception, sodium, potassium and calcium form hydrides. Non-metals form stable hydrides. Example, NH3 ammonia. Metals react with chlorine to form chlorides. Metals chloride are crystalline, non-volatile and electrovalent solid. Example, NaCl, sodium chloride. Non-metals usually form chlorides, which are volatile and covalent liquids or gases. Example, phosphorus trichloride. Metals above hydrogen in the activity series react with dilute acids to liberate hydrogen. In non-metals do not react with dilute acids to liberate hydrogen. Molecules of metals are usually monoatomic. Example, sodium Na, potassium K, etc. Molecules of nonmetals are usually polyatomic in vapor state. Example, oxygen O2, phosphorus P4, etc. Metals, the element except hydrogen which are electropositive, that is, which form positively charged ions by losing electrons from their valence shell, and form oxides which are basic in nature, are called metals. About 80% of known elements are metals. Metals. Metal possess certain characteristics. Atomic properties. They are: they have large atomic radii. They have low ionization energies. Their atoms have smaller number of electrons in their outermost shell. Uses of metals. Iron is used for making stainless steel, which has wide application in home and industries. Making magnets and making alloys, with which construction of bridges and houses are done. Iron alloys find use in making nuts and bolts. Metals like aluminum and copper are used for making utensils, making electric wires, etc. Aluminum powder is used as reducing agent in metallurgy. Physical properties. Solid at room temperature except mercury, gallium. Malleable and ductile. Good conductor of heat and electricity. Lead is a poor conductor. Lustrous and polishable. Strong and possess high density. Example, lithium, sodium and potassium are light. Sonorous and hard. Sodium and potassium are soft. Melting point and boiling points are high. Exception: gallium, tin, lead, etc., which have low melting point. Twenty-three metals shows superconductivities. Chemical properties. Metals are electropositive. They form positive ions and act as reducing agents. Metals combine with oxygen to form metal oxides. Twice Mg plus O2. It gives twice MgO, magnesium oxide. When magnesium metal react with oxygen to form magnesium oxide. Metal oxides are basic. Some of them dissolve in water from alkalis. Sodium oxide, which dissolve in water H2O, then gives sodium hydroxide, twice NaOH. Metals like sodium and potassium reacts with water to form metals hydroxide and displaces hydrogen from water. The sodium and potassium which dissolve in water, it evolves the hydrogen from that water. Metal react with dilute acid to form salt and hydrogen. When strip of more reactive metal is placed in a salt solution of less reactive metal, the more reactive metal goes to the solution and less reactive metal get deposited. If you see the reaction of copper sulfate and zinc, copper sulfate of aqueous solution of copper sulfate in which zinc strip is deep, then it gives ZnSO4 aqueous solution plus copper is displaces on that strip. Occurrence of metals. Metals are found in earth crust, as metal being substances called minerals. The minerals from which metals are extracted are called ores. Metals is said to exist in native state. if it is exist in elementary form in the crust of earth. Gold, platinum occur in the free state in the nature. A metals is said to be exist in combined state if it is found in the earth crust in the form of stable compounds. Silver and copper are found in free state and in combination. All other metals are reactive and exist in a combination in the earth crust as oxides, carbonates, sulfides and sulfates. Sodium and potassium occur as chlorides and nitrates. Aluminum is the most abundant metal on the earth crust. Then comes iron, calcium, sodium, potassium, magnesium and titanium. Other metals are present in traces. Non-metals, the elements which are electronegative, that is, which form negatively charged ions by accepting electron in their valence shell, and from acidic or neutral oxides and hydrogens are called nonmetals. In nonmetals, there are no free electrons. Instead, there is a deficiency of electrons. While forming compounds, nonmetals borrow electrons. Nonmetals are placed on the right hand side of the periodic table. Chemically, inert gas like helium, neon, argon, krypton, xenon are included in the category of nonmetals. Nonmetals are not malleable or brittle. Nonmetals cannot be hammered or beaten into thin sheet without breaking. Nonmetals break into pieces when hammered or stretched. Sulfur, phosphorus are powder and cannot be made into sheet. Brittleness is a characteristic property of nonmetals. Nonmetals are ductile. Nonmetals cannot be drawn into thin wire. Nonmetals do not have free electrons, thus the bond between atoms in the elements are weak and they snap with when stretched. The non-ductility property follows from the non-malleability or the brittleness property. Nonmetals are bad conductor of heat and electricity. In nonmetals, the bonds formed are weak as there are no free electrons to share other than graphite, which is an allotropic form of carbon. None of the nonmetals are good conductor of heat and electricity. Graphite is able to conduct electricity because of its special crystalline arrangement. Nonmetals have no luster. Nonmetals are in the form of powder or gaseous. Hence they cannot be polished and they do not have any luster. Most of the powder are dull in color. Only graphite can be polished to some degree. Iodine shows some luster as it has more electrons. Nonmetals are not strong due to the non-ductile and non-malleable properties. Nonmetals are not strong at all. Their bonds break easily as the electrons are not shared. Physical state. Nonmetals can be in the form of solid, liquid or gases at room temperature. Some nonmetals like carbon, sulfur, phosphorus are solid at room temperature. Bromine is liquid at room temperature. Most other nonmetals are gases at room temperature. Solid nonmetals are soft materials. Carbon in its allotropic form of diamond is an exception here. Diamond is the hardest substance found in the nature. Melting and boiling points. All nonmetals have low melting and boiling points. The melting point of sulfur S is 115 degrees Celsius. Graphite and diamond have high melting points, but these are exceptions in nonmetals. Solubility of nonmetals. Nonmetals are soluble in some chemicals or organic solvents. For example, iodine I2 is soluble in alcohol. Density of nonmetals. Nonmetals have low densities as compared to metals, which have high densities. This means that in nonmetals, the atoms are not strongly bound. The crystalline volume of nonmetals is small. Nonmetals are not sonorous. Nonmetals do not make any characteristic sound when hit with an object. Thus, nonmetals are not sonorous. Chemical properties of nonmetals. Nonmetals form acidic or neutral oxides. Nonmetals do not replace hydrogen from acids. With chlorine, nonmetals form chlorides which are covalent. With hydrogen, nonmetals form many stable hydrides which are covalent. With oxygen, nonmetals form covalent oxides. Some of these oxides are dissolved in water from acids. Carbon dioxide and water when react with one another to form carbonic acid H2CO3. Sulfur dioxide and water react with one another to form sulfurous acid H2SO3. Other oxides like carbon monoxide, nitrous oxide, etc. are neutral. That is, they do not give acidic taste with litmus paper. Reaction with hydrogen. Nonmetals combine with hydrogen to form hydrides. Example, H2S hydrogen sulfide, NH3 ammonia, HCl hydrochloric acid, CH4 methane, etc. The hydrides are formed by electron sharing, covalent bonding. Reaction with chlorine. With chlorine, nonmetals form chlorides having covalent bonds. P4 plus 6 molecules of chlorine Cl2. It forms 4 PCl2. Phosphorus trichloride 4 PCl3. Reaction with acids. Nonmetals do not replace hydrogen in acid. Nonmetals are electron acceptor, so they cannot supply electron to hydrogen ions. Properties of ionic compounds. The compounds in which the constituent particles are held by ionic bonds are known as ionic compounds. Physical nature of ionic compounds. Ionic compounds exist as crystalline solids. They are hard and brittle. These compounds break into pieces when pressure is applied on them. Melting point and boiling point. Ionic compounds possesses high melting point and boiling points. This is due to strong electrostatic force of attraction between the oppositely charged ions. Solubility. Ionic compounds are soluble in water and other polar solvents. However, the ionic compounds are insoluble in non-polar solvents such as benzene, hexane, ether, etc. Ionic reactions. The chemical reactions between the ionic solids involves regrouping of ions in their aqueous solutions. Such reactions takes place rapidly. Electrical conductivity. Ionic compounds do not conduct electricity in solid state because ions are held by strong attractive forces and are not free to move. Ionic solids conduct electricity in molten state and dissolved form. Metallurgy. The various steps involved in the extraction of metal from their ore and refining them for the use is called metallurgy. The various steps involved in the extraction of metals are concentration of ore, conversion of concentrated ore into metal oxide, reduction of metal oxide to metal, refining of metal. Metallurgy is the process of extracting metal in a pure state on large scale from its ore by physical or chemical means. Physical means including crushing and concentration. Chemical method includes roasting, calcination, reduction and refining. Concentration of ore. The process of removal of impurities from the ore is called concentration of ore. These are various methods employed for the concentration of ore depending upon the nature of ore and nature of impurities present in it. For concentration, the ore is first crushed in jaw crushers and then finally powdered. The powder or ore is concentrated by suitable method. The various physical and chemical method of concentration are ore, hydraulic washing, gravity separation, froth flotation, magnetic separation, chemical separation or leaching. By this method, the concentration of ore takes place. First is hydraulic washing or gravity separation. This method is used where the gangue particles are higher than the pure ore particles. In this method, when the powder ore is treated with a stream of running water, the light gangue particles are washed away and the heavier ore particles are left behind. Example, the ore of tin is purified by this method. Froth flotation. This method is based on preferential weightlifting of the ore by oil and gangue by water. It is used for concentration of sulfide ore which are lighter than gangue. In this process, the freshly powdered ore is mixed with the water in a large tank. A small amount of oil, example pine oil, and the froth producing reagent, example amyl xanthide, are added into the sulfide ores, are wetted by pine oil and gangue particles by water. The whole mixture is agitated violently by passing air through it, and froth is produced. The froth is skimmed off, washed and dried. The gangue particles being heavier sink to the bottom of tank. Magnetic separation. When either the ore particle or impurities are magnetic, they can be separated by means of magnetic separator. The finally powdered ore is dropped over a belt which passes over the magnetic roller. Example, titanium oxide is concentrated by this method. In this method, magnetic ores can be separated by pouring the magnetic ores on the magnetic separator belt. In this way, from this method, we can separate out the magnetic ore. Leaching. In this method, the powder ore is treated with a suitable solvent in which the ore particles alone dissolve and impurities are left undissolved and can be removed by filtration. Example, bauxite is purified by leaching with caustic soda. In the leaching method, we can purify the bauxite by leaching with the caustic soda. Conversion of concentrated ore into suitable form. After concentration, the ore is generally subjected to calcination and roasting depend upon the nature of ore. During calcination and roasting, the ore is changed into its oxide. The process of obtaining metal from the compounds is called reduction. The metal low in the reactivity series can be obtained by first heating their compounds. Reduction by heat, reduction with carbon, reduction with aluminium, reduction with magnesium, reduction with hydrogen, electrolytic reduction. By this method, we can obtain the metals from their compounds. Reduction of heat. Some less electropositive metals can be directly obtained by roasting their sulfide ore followed by distillation. Example, mercury can be obtained by roasting cinnabar. Mercuric sulfide plus oxygen, it gives mercury plus sulfur dioxide. In this way, by this method, we can obtain the mercury from the ore of cinnabar. Reduction with carbon. The process of reduction of carbon with carbon is known as smelting. In this process, The roasted or calcinated ore is mixed with suitable quantity of coke or charcoal, and it is heated to a high temperature above melting point. During this reduction, an addition reagent is added to the ore. This additional reagent is called flux. Flux combines with the impurities to form flexible product called slag. Metals like zinc, iron, tin, lead, etc. are extracted by this method. For example, limestone is reduced by coke. SnO2, tin oxide plus 2 atoms of carbon react with one another to form pure tin plus 2 molecules of carbon monoxide. Coke is an important reducing agent in metallurgical process because of the following reason. It can reduce majority of oxides. It is cheap and abundantly available. In this way, by the reduction with carbon, we can obtain the pure tin from the tin oxide ore. In this process, generally use the coke as reducing agent. It reduces the oxides from the ore and form a pure metal. Because coke can reduce the majority of oxides, as well as it is cheap and abundantly available. Reduction with aluminium, thermite process. Certain metals oxides such as chromium oxides and manganese oxides are not easily reduced with carbon. In such cases, aluminium is used as reducing agent because it is more electropositive than chromium and manganese. The process of reduction of oxides with aluminium is called aluminothermy. Example: chromium oxide solid plus 2 atoms of aluminium which react with one another to form Al2O3 alumina solid plus 2 atoms of chromium. This is the reduction of aluminium, which is known as thermite process, from which we can get the pure alumina, and chromium metal is separated from its ore, chromium oxide. In this way, by the reduction with alumina, we can separate out some metal oxide by this process. Reduction with magnesium. Sometimes magnesium can reduce compound. Example: titanium tetrachloride is reduced by magnesium to form magnesium chloride and titanium. In the given reaction, titanium tetrachloride react with magnesium to form magnesium chloride plus titanium. In the above reaction, we see that when pure magnesium which is treated with the titanium chloride, then we get the pure titanium plus salt of magnesium, that is magnesium chloride. This is the reduction with magnesium. Reduction with hydrogen. Hydrogen is very efficient reducing agent. The roasted ore is heated in a small trays in the current of hydrogen gas. The tungsten oxide, when heated with hydrogen, it gives pure tungsten plus 3 molecules of water. When tungsten oxide, when heated in the current of hydrogen gas, gives tungsten and water. This is the reduction of hydrogen, from which we can obtain the pure tungsten. Aluminium. The symbol of aluminium is Al. It is 13 proton and 14 neutrons. An atom of aluminium is represented as above. The aluminum is largely separated by electrolytic method. Aluminum is characterized as having very useful properties. It is light in weight, is a good electrical conductor, is highly malleable and highly ductile. Alloys of aluminum find wide application in various industries. Aluminum, extraction of aluminum, purification of bauxite by Baer process. Impure bauxite is finely powdered and heating strongly with the NOS solution. Soluble sodium aluminate is formed. Al2O3 plus twice NaOH, it gives sodium aluminate twice NaAlO2 plus water H2O. The insoluble impurities gangue, silica and iron oxides are filtered off. Sodium aluminate plus HCl plus H2O, it gives aluminum hydroxide plus sodium chloride. The white precipitate of aluminum hydroxide is filtered, washed, dried and ignited to get alumina Al2O3 twice AlOH thrice, which is heated and ignited to form Al2O3 plus thrice H2O. By this way, after the extraction of aluminum, we can get the alumina Al2O3 by the ignition of aluminum hydroxide. This process is known as Baer process. Extraction of aluminum. Second, electrolytic reduction of alumina. Half process. Alumina is obtained by electrolytic reduction of purified bauxite. Steel tank lined inside with graphite. The molten mixture of alumina. Cryolite is added to alumina. Cryolite to increase the electrical conductivity. Electrolyzed in a large reduce its melting point. The graphite lining inside it acts as cathode, and the carbon rod tip in the molten electrolyte act as anode. On passing electric current, molten aluminum is produced at the cathode and oxygen gas is evolved off the anode. Now the following are the cathode and anode reaction. Twice Al plus 3 plus 6 electron. It gives aluminum, 2 atoms of aluminum. In the anode reaction, 6 ions of oxygen, it gives thrice O2 plus 12 electron. The oxygen gas evolved at anode react with graphite anodes and forms the carbon dioxide. Carbon plus O2, carbon dioxide. Thus the carbon rods are eaten away and they are to be replaced from time to time. This is the anode and cathode reaction, in which in the cathode reaction, when electrons are added into that aluminum, it gives the 2 atoms of aluminum, and in the cathode reaction, when from oxygen electrons are taken away, the oxygen gas evolved at anode and react with graphite to form carbon dioxide, and thus carbon rods are eaten away and replace it to be time to time. Reactivity series. Arrangement of metal on decreasing order of their reactivity. The series in which metal are arranged in the decreasing order of their reactivity is called reactivity series. The higher reactive metal can displaces the lower reactive metal, but the lower reactive metal cannot displaces the higher reactive metal. In the reactivity series, the arrangement of metals which are in the decreasing order of their reactivity. That's why it is called as reactivity series. We see that the metal which having high reactive, that metal are able to replace the low reactive metals. That's why the highly reactive metal always displaces the low reactive metal. By this way, we can arrange the reactivity series from highly reactive metal to low reactive metal. If you see in the reactivity series of metals, all highly reactive metals which are arranged at the top of the series, and low reactive metals which are placed at the bottom of that series, and remaining medium reactive metals or moderately reactive metals which are placed at the middle of the reactivity series. By this way, we can arrange all that metals with their reactivity in the series. This is known as reactivity series. By this, how can we remember the reactivity series of metals? If you see in the chart, there is a reactivity series in which there is the at the top potassium, sodium and calcium are the highly reactive or most reactive metals, and at the bottom there is a copper, silver, gold. These are the least reactive or less reactive metals, and at the middle there is a, after the carbon, there is zinc, iron, tin and lead. These are the moderately reactive metals. Then from this series we can remember all that reactivity series by its initial letter. Potassium P, please. Sodium S, stop. Calcium C, calling. Magnesium M, me. Aluminium A. Carbon C, careless. Zinc, zebra. Iron, instead. Tin, try. Lead, learning. Hydrogen, how. Copper. Silver, saves. Gold, God. From this, we can make the sentence like, please stop calling me a careless zebra. Instead, try learning how copper save gold. By this sentence, we can remember the reactivity series. This is the simple way to remember the reactivity series of metals. By this way, we can easily remember, or we can easily know all the metals which are included in the reactivity series by their order of reactivity. If you have a question about the carbon and hydrogen, these are the non-metals and which are included in the series. This is because to convenient the separation of strongly or highly reactive metal, moderately reactive metals and least reactive metals, and to make the sentence more easily for remembering the reactivity series. Corrosion, the process of slow conversion of metals into the undesirable compounds, usually oxides, by reaction with moisture and other gases present in the atmosphere, is called corrosion of metals. Example, iron when exposed to moist air gets corroded and layer of reddish brown flaky substance known as rust is formed on its surface. Rust is chemically hydrated iron oxide, Fe2O3 dot twice H2O. Rust is generally the oxides which are hydrated. Copper metal on exposure to the moist air gets coated with a greenish white powdery substance which is basic copper carbonate, CuCO3 dot CuOH twice. Silver and exposure to air loses the shine and its surface becomes black due to the formation of silver sulfide Ag2S. This is due to the contact of silver with the atmosphere. The metals occupying higher position in the activity series undergo corrosion rapidly. Only a few metals such as gold, platinum, palladium, etc., which are of bottom of the activity series, are resistant to corrosion. Rust in iron is hydrated ferric oxide. Since rust is porous, the rusting process is iron continuous until the complete iron is changed to out. Take a test tube containing anhydrous calcium chloride. Close it with a 1 hold cork. Insert a shining iron nail through the hole in such a way that nail is partially sunk in anhydrous calcium chloride. After some days, since the portion of the nail outside the test tube is moist air, it gets corroded. The portion inside the test tube will not be corroded. This is because the air inside the test tube is dry. Method of prevention of corrosion. Corrosion is a wasteful process and should be prevented. For preventing corrosion, we have to cut off the contact between metal and air. This is done in number of ways. Some of the methods are given here. Let us look at these methods, which are used generally for the prevention of corrosion of metals. Coating with oil and grease. Iron, steel instruments, parts of various machines and agriculture tools are kept smeared with the oils when not in use. This prevents the corrosion. Coating with paints. Railway coaches, bridges, furniture, automobile, etc. are coated with paint to prevent the corrosion. Coating with other metals. Sometimes metals are coated with non-corrosive metals. It includes galvanizing, tining, electroplating, anodizing, etc. Galvanizing. Galvanizing is a process in which iron sheets are coated with zinc to prevent the corrosion. For doing this, iron sheets are dipped in a molten zinc, then taken out and allowed to cool to get galvanized iron. It is used to make bucket, roofing, boxes and other useful articles. Tining. Tining is a process of giving a coat of tin to the metals. Cooking vessels made of copper and brass get a greenish coating due to the corrosion. It is poisonous. Therefore, they are given a coat of tea. Electroplating. In electroplating, metal surfaces are covered with another metal using electric current, and thus corrosion is stopped. Spoons, handles of bicycles, tapes, etc. are electroplated. Many presentation articles, metals, etc. are gold plated or silver plated by electroplating. Anodizing. Anodizing is a process in which metal like aluminum, copper, etc. are coated electrically with the thin and strong film of their oxide, which protect them from corrosion. Anodized aluminum articles such as soap cases, handles, doorknobs, etc. are commonly used. Alloying. Some metals, when alloyed with another metals, become more resistant to corrosion. Stainless steel is an alloy of iron which does not rust easily. Thanks.